talking with Mario about a subject that he faces regularly. At the current time, we are in a seller's market.
Correct. In the seller's market, you're going to find yourself as a buyer competing for homes, which is, not necessarily pleasant, but you're going to be going to the MLS, you're going to be looking for homes, you're going to book appointments, and you're going to find out some of them are already sold. And out of the properties you want to look at, you're going to find out that your agent's going to tell you that there's no offers till. So the offers are delayed for 4 or 5 days from the point that you look at the home. So that could be an advantage, or you can look at it as a disadvantage. So we're going to show you how to turn it into an advantage for you.
Right, and how to make it less of an emotional roller coaster, right?
That's correct. That's correct. So you, on average, when you look at 10 homes, and out of the 10, only 2 stand out that are potential for you. And sometimes you can walk away from them and think of it for a couple days, and then they're still there. Right now, the market is fast, and things are selling fast, so you don't really have much time to think about the home you want to buy.
So what do most agents do when they're in this situation? How often do you see a lot of people deal with it?
Well, what we're doing now is when we're listing homes, we're going to advise the sellers to delay offer presentations till a certain date. So let's say 4, 5, 6, 7 days after the listing has shown up on MLS or on Realtor.ca.
So a lot of buyer agents their strategy is to just offer more than the asking price to get in their attempt to get the home, right?
Correct. They'll go a little less than asking, they'll go full price, or they'll go above asking. One thing that you want to do as a buyer to be on the winning side is that if we're looking at a property that's listed at $299.9 and it's a solid $299.9, meaning it's worth it, and you look at it and you're really, really tempted. It's got a beautiful kitchen, beautiful bathroom, it talks to you volume, you can see yourself living there. Most likely other people will see the same thing you see and have the same temptations to buy this one. So to end up on the winning side, you're going to have to possibly bid higher than asking price. Look at your conditions and some of the conditions that are necessary and what is not necessary. So conditional financing, home inspection, most likely the buyer doesn't have cash. But he can definitely talk to his bank to see if he can go in cash, if he's solid enough on paper to go in cash, meaning he's putting 20% down or more, and his home is already sold, then most likely he can go cash. That's one way to beat another offer that's not coming in with the same terms as you are.
What about closing date?
Well, closing date, when people list their homes, typically they don't give a specific date for closing. So you want to, as your buyer agent, I would want to make a phone call to the listing agent to find out what is the seller's preferred date. So is it June 15th? Is it June 30th? Is it May 1st? Is it May 15th? I want to know a specific date. So when I write the offer, I've got the right closing date that I know will match the seller's needs.
What about home inspection? How can you deal with that before you have to go and compete?
Well, home inspection should be done. And yet when you compete with offers, you may be under stress not to do a home inspection. And yet there's risk in there because there's so many factors that you don't see. You don't know if there's vermiculite in the attic. The seller may not even know if there's vermiculite in the attic. You may not know if there's any double tapping in the electrical panel, if the wires are grounded, or if there's knob and tube wiring in older homes. You may not know if there's asbestos wraps around the heating vents in the basement. So it's good to do a home inspection. So one of the options that I've been doing and with my buyers, and they've been very successful at it, is pre-inspecting the home but before the offer is submitted. So if they're telling us that there's no offers till Monday, and here we are on Thursday, you know what, I've got 3 days to go do a home inspection. And I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so 3-4 days to get it done before the offer presentation.
Right, so the buyer can have peace of mind and know that he's getting a solid house. He knows exactly what he's putting an offer on.
Yes.
Right, and so when you do the offer then, would you suggest going way over the purchase price like some people do?
Well, if it's worth it, yes. If it's not, if it's really only worth the $300,000, you don't want to bid too much higher over 3 if you're going to go over 3. But one thing for sure is if you can remove your conditional financing, fantastic. Number 2 is if you have it pre-inspected, you're going to find things in the home. Every home has imperfections, so you're going to find them. And then you're going to say, you know what, I'm willing to buy it. My mom and dad have the same thing in their home, and they've lived with it forever, and it's fine. So it's power to you to have it inspected. And when we, as the buyer's agents, show up to present your offer, we're going to disclose to the seller what he has. He doesn't even know what he has in his home. He's been living there for 30, 40, 50 years and still doesn't know what he has. So we're going to disclose, and disclosure is powerful. And we're going to say, hey, my buyer's okay with vermiculite, or my buyer's okay with your wiring in your home not being grounded, or everything is fine but you have a moisture problem in the front of your home that you may not be aware of, but the home inspector did find.
So when the seller gets an offer that has no condition on financing, no condition on home inspection, and the closing date is exactly what he wants, he might even accept a less price on the offer.
That's correct. So you know what, Patty said it well. If you're looking at a $300,000 house, for example, and you're offering $302,000, no conditional financing, you're fantastic. You've talked to your bank. The risk tolerance is good for the bank too, meaning they're willing to go cash with you. And also, you've done your home inspection. You're going $302,000. And the other offer is $305,000. And you think, oh man, of course you don't know it's $305,000. We don't know it's $305,000, but you are competing with a higher offer. But theirs is conditional financing. Theirs is conditional on home inspection. Typically, you're going to win because you've matched the closing date, so the closing date is not an issue. Your offer is solid without conditions. They know once they sign your offer, the sold sign goes up, the house is sold. Congratulations, you've just bought yourself a home.
That's right.
So, happy house hunting. Again, we're Pat and Margo from RE/MAX. Have a great day.